What if you want to build an export business but produce nothing yourself? Then you want to work as an agent, finding domestic suppliers to represent. I cover this in my books and my seminars, but here I'll add the specific step of the letter you write to the company you wish to target. That is, the American or the domestic maker of any item that you wish to represent overseas. My name is John Spires. You can learn more about me on my website, johnspires.com, which you see right there. Now, going after a particular supplier in the United States, you've got to show them why they should do that. And in the classes and seminars and whatnot, I show you how to do the research that only you will have, very specific in this one in case is for pecans or anything you can think of, in which you take that trade data research on exports of pecans from around the world. You see here in line 6, it's 5 years running. In line 7, we see that it's accelerating. In line 8, we see the average price paid. Line 9, we see the number one customer for pecans. In this instance is Vietnam, or excuse me, Hong Kong in line 10, and then we're getting an acceleration there from, you see in line 11, B through F, and then line 12, we see the percentage of the world exports that go to Hong Kong and the average price paid for these pecans in the shell in this case per kilo. So you have to start with your basic research first to target which country you're going after, because then you're going to take that information to the USA supplier and you're going to write a letter to that USA supplier. It's going to be on a piece of paper. It's going to be a piece of paper, not an email. You're not going to waste your time with emails. So it's a piece of paper for the letterhead and for the envelope itself. And we're going to write a letter and you're going to address that envelope, and it's going to go in a in the mail, United States Postal Service. See that? Remember them, United States Postal Service? And pick a stamp that looks kind of exotic and interesting. This is Year of the Horse stamp. Yeah, that's Chinese New Year's, but who in America knows that? But this has got Chinese writing on it. It looks nice and exotic, and you can still get this for this year, even though Chinese New Year has come and passed. But you have to order it from USPS. But you can do that. So get those stamps and use them and make it look nice on the when they receive it on the other side. Now, as to the letter itself, this is what you want to do. You set up on your word processor using very nice stock. I use paper that's 50 cents a sheet. I buy it at specialty stationery stores, and I run it through my laser printer. I put the name of my company in one font, and just name the company after yourself. You don't have to go out and get a business license and all that just to do research, and that's all you're doing right now. So you're just gathering information. So put the name of your company in one font, and then I use a typewriter font. I think this is Courier, yeah, 12 point. Now, after you've done your research as to what country you're going after with what product, you need to find out who the best suppliers are. Now, the best are not usually the best are not the biggest. You want the ones that are most creative. And then you need to do enough research on Google. You can do this on Google to find the name of the decision maker regarding who would be. This could be the national sales manager or the new channels director, or it could be the owner of the company if it's a smaller company. But anyway, get the name of a human being. If you don't have the name of a human being, do not send the letter. Do not send these as email. If you think you're going to email these off, don't bother. You're just wasting your time. So address the letter to the person who's the decision maker, the name of the company, the address, the city, state, and then make sure you get the date. People forget that. So hit them with something that matters to them. Accelerating pecan sales to Hong Kong. What? So then you address it to the person involved. That should be a comma, not a period. But anyway, if you take a minute to review the second word within the first 3 words is the word you. If you don't have you within the first 3 words, throw the letter away. Don't bother sending it. You're wasting everybody's time. No one's going to read it. I see people always want to start off the letter, I am doing this. Nobody cares what you're doing. I don't want to be offensive, but you want to be effective. The person you're addressing wants it to be about the person you're addressing. If you take a minute to review the enclosed spreadsheet, and you enclose that spreadsheet that I just showed you, on pecan exports from USA to Hong Kong, you'll notice the pace is accelerating over the last 5 years with nearly 200% increase, 2013 year over year 2012. And you just cite exactly what they're looking at. So they can take your letter, they can go to that spreadsheet on pecan sales, and they can see, oh, that's good. That's interesting. Make it interesting for them. Take a look at the Hong Kong market share in line 12 and the price paid per kilo by Hong Kong importers in line 13. The United States International Trade Commission provides the raw data. Only you and I have seen this analysis. So this gets to a whole bunch of points here. One, make it a formal business letter layout. One font for the letter, another for the content. Plain paper, excellent quality, 50 cents a sheet, plus another 50 cents for the envelope. I run all this through my laser printer. And then you, within the first 3 words, talk money immediately from the research. Tell them what they're going to get that no one else gets, and that is this is the source. USTS provides the raw data, and only you and I have seen this analysis, and that's going to be true. You're going to be the only person that created the analysis for your product, the way you're going to create it. So, and that is something nobody else is going to get, as Joe Girard um, suggests. Okay, so then you hit them with the question: do you have an export program? They either do or they don't. If they do, they don't need you, and you're going to go on to somebody else. And if they don't, just tell them something nice. Your sales in USA recommend you overseas. That's a fact. And export sales enhances your image, grows the business, and makes news in the domestic markets. Okay, so there's something for them. I propose you and I create an MOQ FOB. You don't have to explain what this is. They can figure it out. They know what MOQ means, minimum order quantity. They know what FOB means, free on board. So you just throw that jargon out. Offer to test the market. Create an MOQ FOB to test the market for your product actively in Hong Kong and passively worldwide. Forget what you know about exporting. I'll make export sales no more difficult, every bit as profitable as a domestic sale. Let's learn what market there is, then we can negotiate if we are the team to represent you. Yeah, don't go in big, don't go in heavy, don't go in talking big. Focus, focus, focus. Talk only about the small thing that you're going to do, and that is to see if there is a customer. And as you'll learn from the rest of the course, that's where we start. What you're going to do is you're going to earn yourself a place at the table. Maybe at the bottom of the table, but a place at the table, and you can build up from there. You're going to do a deal that works and is profitably, and then you're going to continue doing that as often as you need, as often as you want, and then you're going to look back and you're going to say, oh, I've got a career. So we're not going to try to build a business the first day. We're going to try to execute one profitable transaction. It's going to be a small one. And this you'll get into later. But again, the main thing here is be humble and be really, really focused. You're going to put together an MOQ FOB offer, and then you're going to go test it. So now here's the other thing. Let's learn what market there is. We can negotiate if we're the team to represent you. Now all the other details you can cover later in a discussion. So now most people will say, as I have here in the alternative closely, please feel free to contact me at any of the numbers below. I'll look forward to your kind reply. But I like this better, and this is what David Ogilvy recommends. I'll call you, just put a date 10 days out. I'll call you on May 30 at say 4 p.m. to discuss this opportunity with you. Then what you do on May 30 4 p.m. you call them. Now that's 4 p.m. their time. In New York that's 1 p.m. our time. But anyway, you get the time right. You call up and you get somebody who says, who are you, what? And you say, I have a 4 p.m. appointment to talk to Mr. So-and-so regarding the export sales of pecans. Now, they very well say, okay, what? Now, you sent the letter. You said you were going to call, and you're calling. So don't worry about ticking people off or getting in trouble or whatever, you very well may not get through. That doesn't matter. You just do what you say you're going to do. Demonstrate you do what you say you're going to do. So what you can do is then, if you don't get through, call back in 5 days and say, hey, I missed you last when I said I'd call last Wednesday. Call again. You just keep banging on the door. At some point, somebody's going to call, answer the phone and say, look, I really don't want to do this business. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You just keep going until you get an answer. Uh, and then, of course, you sign this letter in blue ink. Not black ink, blue ink, so they know it's real. Put in your name, and then excuse me. The attachments are the spreadsheet on the uh, pecans or whatever product there, so they can refer to it. I took out the MOQ because that was for somebody else. And then you have your city, state, zip, your email, phone, whatever you have, ways of contact, because they may preemptively contact you, and I've had this happen before, and that's fine. Now, if you send this letter out and you get nothing back, you can't reach them, then what you're going to switch to is the stay or go letter. And this is actually an email. This is the point that you can start emailing. The first contact is always by letter, and I'll stress it again. If you think you're going to email somebody and get contact with them, you're wasting your time. Don't do it. But after you've made your introduction by a letter, and if they're ignoring you, then just send them an email that says, so-and-so, should I stay or so I good? Hey, Jim or James or Mr. Thompson or whatever else. I know you're busy. Just hit reply and give me a 1, 2, or 3. Not interested in your Hong Kong market project. We're interested, but it's not a good time. 3, I'm interested. Let's talk. And then you might add something, an article about, business in Hong Kong, whatever else, to catch their interest so that they can just click on. But this way, they can see, oh, it's him again. He's bugging me. I can just hit 1, 2, or 3 and get rid of him. So, and this too, they may not respond, but this is compliments of Martin out of Thailand, and where he read it, it said 100% response rate. I doubt that. He doubted that, but he's getting 80%, and so 80 is not 100%, but it's better than just wondering. So run the rabbits into the ground. Make sure that you one way or another get a response out of these people. Now, if you like, email me and I'll send you a PDF copy of this letter. Now, and your goal here is to get a potential supplier to tell you that they've got no interest in exporting themselves one way or another. If so, then they are a good contact, because later on you're going to see you want to make sure that let me say this. Later on, anybody you do contact overseas will try to go around you. You want to make sure that when they try to go around you, that the people you're representing simply have zero interest in exporting directly themselves, so that the people overseas that want to get this product from the supplier you're representing simply cannot do it by any means. The only way they can do it is through you, and we'll talk more about that later. But this right now is the letter getting contact with them. So the goal is to learn that they have no interest in exporting themselves one way or another. So you're pushing to that. Then once you get there, you're going to ask the question, what do you do with your export inquiries now? Or do you get any export inquiries right now? Now, this question usually throws them, but press for an answer, because they're most likely already getting inquiries from overseas. They're just throwing them away or whatever else. And if you're going to represent this company and they are getting inquiries from overseas, you want to get a hold of those inquiries yourself and work them. So this effort is a parallel in the course on exporting food. It applies to exporting anything, but those who want to act as agents will be using this letter to find suppliers, producers to represent to people overseas. And again, if you have any questions, you've got my email address there. Email me, and let me know if you have any problems. Thank you very much. And of course, as I said, email me if you want to have a copy of that letter for your own purposes. So again, everything can be found on me on johnspires.com, and of course, Seattle Teachers College is a great place to find courses on all sorts of topics, uh, and I recommend that to you as well. So thank you very much. Talk to you later. Bye.